OpenAI introduced new feature called function calls. From now on, you can easily get JSON response directly from OpenAI to call your external functions. You don't need to manipulate your response by providing a custom system prompt anymore. Okay, now I will show you how it works. Let's try to list me 3 countries I can swim in this period of this year and wait for the response. Okay, we have our countries where we can swim in this period of year, and then we can say that, can you send this list as an email? Sure, I can do that. However, I need to know the recipient's email address. Okay, so the address is like that, and boom, we got our email from OpenAI, which includes the countries where we can swim in this period of year. I think it's amazing. Now I will show you how it works behind the scene. Okie dokie, let's create our first function call with OpenAI. But first, let's check the documentation of this feature. You can use this function calling feature with GPT-4 and GPT 3.5 model. But I can say that you cannot rely on this model if you want to use function calling. Because with this model, OpenAI tries to call functions without the user permission, and GPT 3.5 model doesn't follow the guidelines you provide with system prompt. For example, you can call functions without getting arguments. In our case, we are calling a function called send email, but when I try to use this model, OpenAI doesn't ask the recipient email. Okay, so if you want to create this function calling feature in your logic, I think that you need to rely on this model. Okay, cool. And also another issue is I couldn't figure out a way to stream this response because OpenAI responds a JSON object for function calling, but I think that we need to create a parser for that, but I think it's kind of messy. So I believe that at the moment we cannot stream this function calling responses, but I believe that in the near future they will fix this issue as well. Okay, cool. Now we can focus on the root ender that we have created for our chat completion. Okay, first thing first, we need to install this library, OpenAI library. Okay, this is an official one, and we need to configure our client like this. Okay, and then we can create our client, OpenAI client here. As I mentioned before, we will use this new model, GPT-4 model, and also we will provide a system prompt like this. You may need to call functions to complete your tasks. You can only call functions if user has given you permission to do so. It's important because sometimes models tries to call those functions without permission. And if there is no information to provide into this function, it can be buggy, right? You cannot send email without recipient email address, right? Or without proper context. So first you need to get those things, and then you can call these functions. Okay, that's why first we ask user if we can call this function, right? Cool. And then if you don't know the arguments to pass into function, you must ask to the user. Okay, if you want to call send email function, you have to ask for recipient email first, and then you can call the function. It's important. You need to provide those guidelines to prevent buggy logics in your application. Okay, cool. And then you need to provide your functions into this create chat completion function. Okay, but how you can create these functions? To create these functions, you need to create an array of objects. Okay, each object inside of this array represent a function. First, you need to define its name like this. Okay, and you can describe your function in this description field, and also you need to provide this parameters object, and type will be object, and also you need to provide the properties of these parameters. First one is email, and the type will be string. You can describe your property in here. Maybe you can put your guideline in here too. You should always ask the user if you don't know the email address. Okay, cool. And then you can create subject and body. And finally, you can define your required properties. In our case, all properties are required, right? Email, subject, and body. Cool. And also you have this another key here, function call. If you provide any function into this create chat completion function, it's auto by default. But if you don't provide any function, it's none by default. Okay, but sometimes you want to control this function calling feature, right? So you can get this in your body like this is function calling enable. Maybe it's gonna be boolean, and you can pass into here, but you need to convert to auto or none. Okay, cool. So if it's none, it doesn't call those functions even though you provided here. Okay, cool. Now in the next section, I will show you how we can consume this response in client side. Okay, now let me show you how we can consume the response in client side. In this function, send message handler function, we call our API. We make a request to our API/chat, and we send our messages like this. Okay, and we get our data from the response, and we check that if data object has this function call property. Okay, it means that OpenAI's trying to call a function. Okay, so we can get our function call object here, and to get arguments of this function, first we need to parse like this. Okay, it's not an object. The function name is object, but arguments not object. So you need to parse it first. Cool. And then since we have only one function, we can directly call our email function here. But if you have more than one functions, you can get your functions like this. Maybe you can get function name equals function call dot name, and you can get your function from your functions array or functions object. Okay, with this name. Cool. And we will send our email, but we need to pass our arguments, right? So we can get our arguments from this function arguments object, and 2 is email, subject is subject, and HTML is body, right? So if we can successfully send our email, we can send this message to the user. Email has been sent to this email with this subject. Okay, if there's an error, we can send this error message, right? So we can try this. List me 3 football clubs which has a great follower base, maybe. Yep, we have our clubs: Manchester United, Real Madrid, and Barcelona. And we can say that, we can ask it first, can you send this list as an email? And it will ask the recipient's email first, because we provide this guideline in our system prompt, right? So we can say our email like this, and it will send the email to this recipient for us. Yep, email has been sent to this email with the subject 3 football clubs which great follower base. Okay, cool. Now I will show you how you can create this sending email logic with this great application called Resend. Sending an email is the easiest part of this course, actually. You can easily send emails within your Next.js application with Resend. And also you can design your emails with React, and Resend will automatically parse these React components into HTML components for you. I think it's great. All you need to do is clicking this Get Started button and creating an account for you, right? And then you will get your API key from here, like this. And also you need to verify your domain with this button. You can easily add domain, and you need to add some TXT records with your DNS provider, and you will be ready when you are verified. Okay, you can easily send email. All you need to do is first installing this library, Resend library, and getting your API key, right? And then you can use this function, Resend emails send. You will use this from based on your domain, verified domain, okay? And also you can pass to subject and HTML within your body, right? We already get those informations from OpenAI, so we can pass into this request and we can send our email like this. It's a very easy job. Okay, cool. So thank you for watching this video, guys. I hope that you will find this video valuable for your next projects. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe this channel.